So guys, Newbury Biker here, out for another ride on the bike. Sunday today, 27th of September. Been blowy and windy very much the last few days, and we're just going to go out on the bike and have a ride out. We got about half a tank, so I might choose to fill it up today when we're out, see how we get on. But just trying out the helmet. I've put some large cheek pad, or the exterior shell of the bike helmet is one size, and my faces have been aching in the helmet because it's a medium, and the cheek pads have been pressing in on my jaw and cheeks near me mouth so much that it makes the side of me headache after wearing the helmet for an hour and a half. So I just innocently asked this other biker on the roadside when I was chattering to him about it, and he said try googling it. So I thought, of course, why did I not think of that? So I googled it, and the outcome of that was that if it makes your jaw ache, the pads need to be smaller in thickness or not as thick. And what you do rather than change the helmet is you buy a set of replacement cheek pads for this helmet of a larger size. So for example, I am a medium sized helmet, and the answer is to get a helmet set of cheek pads that are for a large helmet, because the shell's the same size and effectively you get less padding. You got a bigger head, you need more room, you get less padding. So I got the large size cheek pads which give you more room around the cheeks, and they're definitely thinner, not as thick, and I can talk better because it always felt like it was pushing your cheeks in between the upper and lower jaw, so you're almost like grinding your cheeks off when you're talking. They're still pushing my cheeks in a little bit now, but not as bad as the medium cheek pads. And I thought, well, we'll give them a try, because I don't want to get like a extra large set of cheek pads and find that they're not supporting you sufficiently enough to make it safe in the helmet. So I tried the one size up effectively, and it feels better. Not like no pressure, but better, and I think so they might be sufficient to not make me face ache after about wearing the helmet for about an hour or hour and a half. So we're out today. It's about 3:30 in Sunday afternoon. 27th of September it is, Sunday the 27th, and I thought I'd go out for an hour or so's ride on the bike, see if it makes the experience more pleasant, and hopefully it does. But we'll give you an update on that later. At the moment we're just out on the bike. So if I hadn't mentioned it, chaps, I'm booked in for the training for my Mod 1 in a couple of weeks, and then the week after, the 16th it is of October, a Friday 16th, I shall be taking my Mod 1 test. So so we get on with that. So try and get out on the bike a little bit, but it's been really windy the last couple of days. It's windy at the moment, but it's okay. So get out and have a ride. So yeah. And anyway, we've been looking at all the bikes again in anticipation of passing the test, to see what style of bike, or what well, it's not so much the style. I definitely want an adventure bike, dual sport stroke adventure bike, and we're back to the the same sort of group of bikes, I guess. Honda CRF 250 Rally, which looks the part, probably go fast enough, but may not. Definitely be able to take it off-road confidently. Definitely be able to use it on-road, but I do hear it struggles sometimes it'll get up to 70, but it'll cruise at 70 for an hour or two is another thing. The other bike was the 250 Rally, sorry, L, without the fairing, slightly smaller, slightly cheaper, same issue probably, top end speed and cruising ability, and I want to go and tour around, I think, locally, but be able to sort of confidently go further afield. So I think I need some sort of a fairing on the bike, which is why I thought about the Rally. At the moment I tend to do 70-80% on the road and 20% down the green lanes. I'm just conscious of the fact that the sort of more road going bikes don't have knobbly tyres on them, which might cause an issue. And next bike I sort of considered was the Honda CB500X. Good fairing, nice looking bike, reasonable ground clearance, probably a comfortable seat. I think I've seen on the reviews that the seats are, you know, very comfy. So just get across this roundabout, guys. And another young learner there, well, not that I'm young, but another learner getting the nod. And problem with the 500X is it's heavy. In fact I think this bike sometimes is heavy, and it's probably like 150 kilos, 140, 150 kilos, and the 500X with fuel in it's like a kilo or two short of 200 kilos, and I think, ooh, that's heavy. And that's what puts me off that one. Bike looks the business, just the weight on it. It's a twin cylinder, sounds good, just heavy for me. I mean, 200 kilos. I mean, some of the 700cc adventure bikes are sort of 200 and just over, like 210, and I think they're too heavy for me and too big. So silly people. So I thought to myself, well, what else is there? And I looked at the 390 Adventure, which just come out this year, albeit probably the middle or beginning of this year, and we're now in sort of September. But the 390 Adventure is looks the right size. It's a single cylinder. It's a bit probably you know, not as smooth as a twin. It probably needs revving a bit more than the twin. You know, it hasn't got so much grunt. I do like to change gears on the bike or get the bike up the box without revving it, so I'll have to test drive it. So I'm thinking, has it got enough torque? But 390, which is 370 cc's, produces sort of 45 horsepower, sort of just shy of 40 newton meters of torque. Sounds on paper the right bike. And it's got adjustable suspension and traction control and ABS, which you can disable for off-road, which you can't on some of the other bikes like the Honda 500X. You can't disable the ABS, for example. It hasn't got an off-road setting. You're sort of stuck with it. And I know you can turn the ABS off on the Honda 250 Rally and 250, but the KTM 390 Adventure looks okay. I mean, it's got 200mm of ground clearance, which isn't as much as what this little Motorini's got even, but all the guys who've ridden them on reviews that I've watched on YouTube say that they haven't bottomed it out. The suspension's quite good. The suspension is sort of tailored for on the road. It's not soft motocross suspension, so it behaves really well on the road, and it's quite nice to ride on the road. Yet can deal with the stuff you would throw at it off-road as well, very capably. It doesn't come with knobblies. It comes with 50-50 or 70-30 even, maybe dual purpose tyres, but it looks the right sort of bike. It's got like a top end of 90ish mile an hour or just over, so it'll cruise at 70, so you can take it on the motorway if you needed to for short periods, you know, an hour or two, which would give you quite a good field of travel, you know. So I'd be able to go a bit further than just local, like I do on my Motorini. So yeah, it looks okay. Dashboard looks good. I think you can get heated grips and heated seat that are controlled through the menu buttons. On the KTM has like a set of menu buttons on the left hand handle grip assembly, so you can navigate through the settings and I guess switch on or adjust the heating of your grips and seat, which I quite like the idea of. Don't know if it's the albeit, you know, I don't know if it's the everything, whether it really matters that much, but it looks like you have that facility. And I like the look of the bike. I'm sort of growing, it's growing on me, I think is the right thing to say. I mean, I didn't like the look of the CRF 250 Rally when I first saw the front of it, but that grew on me and I was set on that till I sort of come across the KTM. And the KTM fully fueled up is sort of 170 kilos with a full tank of fuel. So I thought, well, wow, that sort of puts it not much heavier than my little 125 with sufficient power to get me from A to B and probably keep me satisfied, you know. So I thought maybe this is the bike, the 370. Anyway, just going to fill up with fuel. There we go. full tank of fuel. Didn't cost a lot. I think we'll have a little ride out towards Hungerford. Which is quite a nice ride out. Yeah, I was just thinking when my little bike's due for a service actually. First service it had was 1,000 kilometers, which was 620 miles. The next one was to be 3,000 miles after that. So, oh, not miles, 3,000 kilometers. So another 3,000 kilometers on that. 1,000 kilometers being 620 times 3, 6, 12, 18, 1860 or 18,000, we just round down. 18,000 miles on top of 600 original is 2,400. So she is due a service. 2,400. It's probably more like 2,500 with the rounding down I've been doing. So she is due a service very soon, in my book. In fact, it's had 2 services. I think I had it a bit early, had it a few hundred miles early. So, okay, so 2,500 miles. I think I had it done at 1,900 or something. Only because it was going back to the guy that sold it to me for a few bits and bobs to be done on it, minor things. And it was like change out the indicator, because one of the indicator stalks had moisture inside it, but it was a sealed LED unit, so he swapped that out. So actually should be another 1,800 miles on top of what I've got on the clock now, really. I'll have to double check that. I don't want to run it too long without a service accidentally. So we'll check the service record schedule book when I get a moment. So I forgot that I'd had it serviced, and while we've had lockdown, we haven't been able to go out much. It hasn't done many miles really, so it probably is right. It's probably not due another service for like another 1,800 miles yet, or at least 1,500, because I've done a few, but so that's okay. So I think she's alright, but like I said, I'll double check. I do like this run out, going through the villages and that. I end up down on Hungerford Common and do a bit of a U-turn on the roundabout in the middle of Hungerford and come back. Really exciting, really adventurous, but that's what I've been sort of doing recently anyway, till I got the bike back and it was all the niggly things had been ironed out. Just made sense not to go too far, you know. It's really, really low sun at the moment. So we'll just drop our sun visor down, which is quite good, built in the helmet. Yeah. So I was talking about motorbikes, of course, the next potential bike, and I think I'd like to stick with a lightweight adventure bike and a single cylinder KTM bike. The adventure seems to be like the most appropriate, I think, for what I do. There is a Kawasaki Versus, which is a twin cylinder 300, so it's smaller because the KTM is 370 something cc's, 373 I think, and the KTM redlines at sort of 10,000, and the Kawasaki Versus redlines at 12,500 RPM. It's a twin cylinder, so basically you've got to rev the hoolies off the thing to get it to go, really. And I think the KTM, you still need to rev it a bit, but not as severe as the KTM. I mean, KTM seems to sort of produce its power and torque above 4,000, so you talk about riding between 4 and 6, which is sort of what I ride now on my 125, 4, 6, 7,000. This will rev out to about 9,500 revs, this little bike, but only in certain gears, and it ain't off revving. So if the KTM delivers between 4 and 6, 4 and 7 most of its power, then I think that would probably be okay for me, the way I like to ride. But I will need to take it for a test drive or test ride and see how it actually performs, and see if that characteristics of that engine actually sort of some way suit the type of riding style that I prefer to do at the moment. So that would be good, I think. I don't think there's anything else. I have looked at all the bikes, and you know, people in the showroom say, or in the dealer, I went into the dealer, and it's a dealer that deals with KTM, Honda, Kawasaki, you know, all the franchises are in the same building. And it's like, go and try the Yamaha Tenrite. And I went and looked at the Yamaha Tenrite, and it just looks huge. And I think it would be great to ride on the road, I'm sure, because it's got the 21-inch wheel and twin cylinder, it's smooth, it's got everything you probably want. It's sort of 50 horsepower, or maybe a bit more, 60, but it's coming in at like 200 kilos again, so it's in the CB500X weight area, you know, category. And I'm thinking, I take that down the track and I fall off, I've got to pick that up, and I can pick this one up okay. I wouldn't want too much heavier than this, really, which is why I'm thinking of the KTM, because it's sort of maybe 20 kilos heavier than this 125, and it produces 3 or 4 times as much power. It'll cruise to 70. Hasn't got the 21-inch front wheel, it's got a 19-inch front wheel, but you could probably put some more aggressive knobblies on it if you wanted to do more off-road. But most of the time I ride on the road, and even doing green lanes, they're byways, aren't they? So they're still road, they're just not tarmac. And I'm thinking the Versys, Kawasaki Versys, is too revvy, not really much more power than the KTM. The seat's apparently really hard on it. It hasn't got traction control, it's only got ABS, and you can't turn the ABS off. KTM has ABS off-road, ABS on-road, off-road being front wheel with a different sort of set of parameters in the settings than for the road, and the road is obviously front and rear with road settings on it. But it's also got lean sensitive traction control and lean sensitive ABS. So if you're on a corner and something's in the middle of the road and you can't do anything other than either hit it or hit the brakes, then lean sensitive ABS tells me that I can apply the brakes and it won't lock the wheels and me slide off. So that sounds good. Sounds the sort of user-friendly, inexperienced or low experienced riders would benefit from that particular function, and I'm thinking I like that. I do like going out on the bike, but I'm not really, I don't kid myself, I'm not an experienced rider. I've been riding for a year and a half, getting on 2 years on this 125 and this 125 only, so I'm thinking that would be a good bike to get, and it looks cool, to be honest. A bit cooler than I thought I'd first like. It looked a bit radical to me, but since looking at it, I think it might be the ticket for me, that. And this car's going to reverse out. He's waiting. Good lad, or person. And I'm thinking the KTM could be it. The screen isn't as big as the Honda, either the Rally or the 500X, but you know, it might be alright for me. I'm 5'8", so I'm going to try it, and if I feel I need a bigger screen, they were saying on one of the video reviews on YouTube that the mounting's the same as the 790, which is the bigger bike from KTM, and the 790 screen possibly, looks very likely, will be able to swap straight over onto the 390. I do believe that they do a larger screen for the 390 as an option anyway. It's probably the screen off the 790 anyway, but if it isn't, it looks like they do an option to have it, so that would be good. So, buy the bike. I don't know if you can get a centre stand on it actually, but then do you need a centre stand? I haven't got one on this. Good for maintenance, good for taking back wheels off, I guess, but I'm sure with a decent skid plate underneath it you can prop it up on some chocks or wood or something, if in emergency out and about, or some boulders or something. So you probably could do something with it. I don't think that would stop me buying the bike. And if you can get it with heated seat and heated grips that are controlled from the console or the menu buttons on the to navigate on the screen, then that would be better than having aftermarket bolt-on Oxford heating grips with bits bolted all over the handlebars. It would be much neater. And if it's designed to have it, it's probably got plug-in sockets that you just plug it straight into on the wire and loom, so it would be probably quite easy to install. But I think if I bought one new, I'd order the grips and get them to put them on. I think heated seat, quite fancy the heated seat, to be honest. I think your hands get cold first, and the heated grips would be good. Comes with hand guards, albeit not heavy duty metal frame bark busters. They're just plastic ones, but that would they look tougher than what I had on this bike originally, which have since come off because I broke them. And that would keep your hands warm and keep various stones and things from hitting your hands. And you could probably upgrade to a bark buster anyway if you wanted to do serious off-roading. But I think it just seems to tick most of the boxes, and the fact that I could jump on the motorway with it and go down the M4 to South Wales and ride some green lanes and see the country down there, and it sit on the motorway at 70 mile an hour happily. I think it'll do 90, 95 flat out, so 70 on the motorway would be good, so you could, you know, keep up with the flow of the traffic. That would just seems the best all-round bike at the moment. So let's, you know, there's something I've missed. I wouldn't want a Royal Enfield Himalayan. That's not me. It's too sort of old and bony looking, to be honest, for me. There's room for two. So yeah. And the KTM, price wise as well, the price is coming in at 5.5, I think, 5.4, 5.5. The Rally, Honda CB 250 Rally comes in at like 5 grand or 5.2. The Honda 500, Honda CB X5 or CB 500X is coming in at 6.1, 6.2. So it sort of sits in the middle. And for the extra 500, 600 or 700 quid, you could probably get the heated grips and maybe even the sort of adventure. I think there's a touring model of the adventure bike which comes with heated grips and panniers fitted, which are soft panniers, not hard panniers for the back, which I'm sort of interested in. So that would be something to consider. So that would be the same price as the 500 CB 500X, but with the extras on it. And I would like a more comprehensive or sturdier bash plate than what comes on the standard model for the bottom of the engine. And there's an aluminium plate, and I think that's 180 quid or something. So when it comes to buying the vehicle, I'm hoping I can swing a deal with the dealer to get a few things bolted on it in with a price, like the bash plate, for example. I'd like the bash plate and bark busters on it, and I'd pay for the adventure model or the touring model with the panniers and heated grips. Get the heated seat in as well with a bit of luck. That might be pushing it, like.